All right, we are live. It is a great day. We're at the end of November. This is Boss Talks. I'm happy to have you here, and I'm even happier to have my guest, Vanessa Grayson, and she is with Lincoln Property Company. Wait, is that right? Is that how it's said? I always screw up the different names of the companies for some reason. Anyways, she's with them. It's a great company. I have done a lot of work with them for sure. And she is a business manager in Kansas City, Missouri. But she has a great story that I want her to tell because she's going to go over things about her personal life and how she got to where she is right now, and what drives her as a mom of two kids, a single mom of two kids, and all the things, the adversity and the things that have come along with that, but also how she has thrived as a professional in the midst of it all, and really taken the opportunities that have come her way and tried really hard to do her best and put herself in the best position possible. So great story, great learnings, I think, from her. And I can't wait to hear more about all that she has learned in her really short life so far. I mean, I'm not super old, but she is younger than me. But I am excited to hear from her because she has done a lot in pretty short amount of time and won some awards and things that I'll let her speak about as well. So without any further ado, I would love to add Vanessa to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Great
Thank
intro. You did great.
Oh, thank you. And I am right. Lincoln Property Company. I don't know why I was second guessing myself on that.
You nailed it. Typically, everyone's like LPC, and we just all kind of know what it means. So sometimes giving the unabbreviated version is a struggle, but
yeah. It's like, wait, what does the P stand for? What is that? Yeah, no.
Well, perfect. No, thank you so much for having me on today. I'm super excited to share just a little bit about myself and my story. So as you mentioned, I am Vanessa Grayson. I'm a business manager with Lincoln Property Company in Kansas City, as you see my background behind me. We are home of the Kansas City Chiefs, in case you didn't know. A lot of people are just like Kansas City, Kansas, and I'm like, absolutely not. We can't get the two confused. So
it is confusing, though. It is.
But we can't mess this up when it comes to like football. Actually, it's more than football. We just can't mess up the states. So I'm in Missouri.
Got it.
It's a thing here. If you're in the Midwest, it's very much if you know, you know. So
yeah, we don't want to cross the lines there. I got it.
No, we don't do that here.
And I do appreciate you representing the Midwest because, I mean, let's be honest, the Midwest doesn't get a lot of love when it comes to a lot of things within the industry. It's usually the coasts that get all the attention, or even Texas, right? Texas gets a lot of attention. It's where everybody is, the most apartments, all the things. But, you know, there's a lot of talented people throughout the United States, and you're one of them. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to you today. So
absolutely, there's so much talent circulating in the Midwest. We've got to go find it. It's a conversation that we've been having throughout the local affiliate. I think we're at a point where we have to stop looking at who we already have and go out and seek people that we don't know about. Like, who are we missing from the talent pool that can prove benefit for us? And my story is a little unique. I was found by a GM. I was working at a bar at the time, and she came in and she had a conversation with me, and she's like, you'd be really great at being a leasing consultant. And I had no idea what that was. And I think that's the case for a lot of people when it comes to the multifamily industry, and just how many avenues that you're able to take, and how many positions and honestly career paths in general that you're able to take once you've hit one of those entry-level positions. Just kind of the unknown. But I agreed to do it. I was pregnant with my son at the time, and honestly, I could not work the bar life forever. So I began as a leasing consultant, and honestly, I feel like the rest of it has been a blur. Like, I have done so much in a very short amount of time. I was a leasing consultant for about a year, and then an assistant manager for about 6 months. and I've been a property manager and or business manager for the remainder of my tenure.
Which is how long at this point?
We're going on 8 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
8 years.
Super long.
Yeah, so not long at all. But I think what's really important when it comes to my story is just making sure that people understand there is no fast track to this. It's super important that even though things are done in a very short period of time, I'm not taking shortcuts to get where I am. And it all comes down to like work ethic and drive and what motivates us to just get up every day and get the job done. And to make sure that we're taking the opportunities as they come to us, and making sure like we're turning around, we're pulling up the next person, but we're also relying on the people around us that are seasoned and do have tenure in this industry to continue to pour down back into us, be those strong mentors. And I've got plenty that have, just kind of pulled me along the way. But honestly, it all started with someone seeing my potential. So that's really important for me and how I work as a business manager with my team. I tend to hang on to people until I absolutely cannot hang on to them anymore. But I do that solely because someone did that for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
So when it comes to your story, like you said, you were working at a bar at the time. You were newly pregnant. I know you have 2 kids. So was it your first?
That was my first. Yes.
Okay. And there was something about you that they saw some potential just in a conversation, which I've heard that before, where property managers, I think really good ones that are recruiting and trying to find good talent, they tend to find people in not obscure places, but out in public, like the retail store or a bar or whatever, having a good conversation, somebody that's very personable and has the ability to like connect with somebody very quickly.
Right.
Because that's exactly what you have to do when you're leasing an apartment, is make a connection, make somebody feel comfortable, all those things. So that must be, I'm assuming, kind of what they felt with you, is this ability to really connect.
Yeah. I say it all the time. Like for me, I'm very much like a good balance of an introvert and an extrovert. Like I absolutely know how to turn it off when I'm like ready to just kind of be by myself and mellow out, recenter, refocus, but I can also turn it on at the same time. And I think for me, like when it came to working in the service industry, I mean, that's exactly what you have to do. It's probably one of the toughest industries that there are. Like you're dealing with people constantly, and still trying to deliver a level of service that is acceptable, while probably also navigating all of life's challenges behind the scenes. And you just have to take that as it comes. And my life challenges behind the scenes are kind of insane. And I have 2 children and I am a mother. So it's all about balance and just being able to navigate that.
Yeah. So do you have a good support network behind you? In order to be able to, I mean, to have 2 kids and to I mean, this job isn't typically done remotely. So it's not like you could just, all right, doing it from home.
I have an incredible support system. So much so that when I was ready to buy my first home, I bought a home on the same street as my parents so that I didn't have to be too far away from them. But between my family and I've got some really near and dear friends to my heart that will drop anything for me, which is amazing. And I'm so incredibly grateful. But not only that, I've had companies along the way that understand that when I became a mother, I was a mother first. And some didn't. And I think it's just one of those characteristics about a person. Like maybe if you don't have children, you don't really like have the whole grasp of the concept of what it is to be a parent and the time that you have to put in. And when I'm doing it 95% of the time by myself, like what challenges that bring me, or that brought me at the time. But I've had companies that have just embraced the fact that I am a mother, but I'm showing at the same time that I truly am dedicated to them. So if that means extra hours, once the kids are in bed and I'm knocking out additional emails, or if that means that my team has to be flexible for a day without me while, the kiddos are at home sick, which just happened recently with whatever's going around. They've just been super understanding and compassionate to my situation, but in return, I've dedicated myself and committed myself to making sure that I'm still growing, I'm still developing people around me, I'm giving my company, my team, my residents, my vendors, like every ounce of me that I have to make sure that no ball is ever dropped.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, support in any case is important, but in your case, even more so for a job like this. So that's really great that you have that, and that you were able to land a house. First of all, land a house at all, because that's a hard thing to come by these days in general. But so kudos to you on buying your first home. That's really
Thank
awesome.
you. It was definitely one of the goals for sure. It just worked out perfectly. So yeah, here we are.
Yeah. Of course, you live in Missouri, which is not to say that it's cheap, but it's cheaper than here.
I can imagine. Yeah.
It's crazy here, but
not
I'm
trying
in
to
Seattle.
Experience that where you are at all.
Yeah. Seattle, Washington. It's like one of the most expensive areas in the country, so it's great. But anyways, so when it comes to your journey and like the path that you've taken and how you have grown up in your career in those 8 years, you've stated that you had some people that were I guess pivotal in that development for you and still are. But also like beyond that, the challenges you've faced, being a mom, and then anything else like adversity wise, like things that might be helpful for other people that need to be encouraged or understand, like, it may be hard right now, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
Yeah. There's so many. There's so many. I think just speaking from a personal standpoint, I like it's life. Like life is hard, right? Like single motherhood, and I have goals myself. I did become a mother a little younger. I'm 29. My son's almost 8 years old. So I did become a mother at a younger age and may have missed out on some opportunities that I wanted to experience. I think the biggest one that I used to wallow in was the fact that I have no post-secondary education. I've done everything I've done without a college degree. And I tried college and, thought it would be a thing for me, and it just was not. I could not get it together. And so when it comes to that, I was consistently selling myself short in these rooms where, I see all these people and I see all their achievements and their accolades, and I'm just like, I want that. But I just didn't know how to like encourage myself to move past the fact that I feel like I didn't belong. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges for me to work through. In addition to that, like just I had some struggles with depression, like heavy depression and anxiety at one point. I am coming up on 10 years of being, fully free of my depression and anxiety, and being able to celebrate a time in my life where I really didn't think, like, honestly, I can say to you, like, my options were, with the choices I was making, were to be dead or in jail. Multifamily, and like feeling like I have a purpose. My children obviously were one, feeling like that's my purpose in life, was to be a mom. But now that I'm in the seat that I'm in, like, I completely understand the power that my voice has, the power that my story has, to push other people just to keep going. Like, it gets so much better. And once you understand like the purest and truest form, to accept yourself for who you are, and to not quit, because there is so much light at the end of the tunnel. And it is the most invigorating thing I've ever felt in my life, to now be able to, like you mentioned, in a very short amount of time, just look at myself and be like, these are the days I used to dream about, and I'm living in that.
Yeah.
So,
and would you say that the fact that you didn't have college, you didn't have, or maybe the decisions you made early on in life and upbringing or whatever your story is, like, did you feel like people were judging you, or were you holding yourself back, or was it a combination?
I think it's a combination of both, right? I think for a while there, I didn't really care what anyone else thought because I was only focused on my own thoughts, and my own thoughts were very negative, to be transparent. And it just puts you in a place where like I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to get there. But it's not until I changed my mindset that I was able to then fall into the trap that it is to think that other people's opinions matter, because then I had to deal with it all over again. Like, I'm telling myself I've got it. I open up that door, like, okay, we're walking through, and then you're faced with opinions of everyone else. I think the hardest part about things, and sometimes I think about it, not so much anymore, is there are very, as much as we want society to embrace inclusivity and equity and diversity, there are things about myself that are like instant strikes. Like, I am young, I am biracial, so I'm a Black woman in our industry. I'm a woman. That's a strike within itself. I'm a single mother, which comes with a stigma of its own, as it relates to how I've chosen to live my life, or any of the choices that I've made, to be honest. I have visible tattoos, which is not always embraced in the workplace. I have a nose piercing, like different things that come up that used to give me so much of just like a feeling of like imposter syndrome, almost like I just don't belong here. And so I think sometimes it is hard knowing that those are still the challenges that I overcome. I just had a conversation with someone not too long ago. It's really a challenge of feeling like I have to be the hardest working person in the room, if not twice as much, simply because I already kind of have these strikes against me. And whether, people on the outside feel that or not, for me, those are just some of the things that, like, society is not fully welcome to these things at this time. And I always feel like I have to work twice as hard as anyone else in the room just to be at the baseline that they're at.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've done a lot of hard work, and I think you're to a point where, give yourself some credit, because I think you've pushed through a lot of those things. And, I think sometimes it's good to have a little chip on your shoulder, right? To like have something that's pushing you, because when people don't and they've had it easy, they don't try very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they've just skated through life, they don't really see why they even need to like put in the effort.
Right.
Because they're just like, oh, it's going to get handed to me. I don't even need to.
Exactly. I love knowing what may or may not be coming my way. And for me, I don't like to glorify the grind, because I truly do believe like it's okay to take a step back and take a break and realign yourself with your purpose and just recenter and refocus. And those are really big things for me. But at the same time, like, I'll have friends come over and they're like, will you please put your laptop up? And I'm like, I can't. Like, I can't. And not everyone's going to understand, and not everyone's going to have that same mindset. But where I do give myself credit is being on these platforms where my name can be listed amongst people that have been doing this since before I was born. They have more years in this than I do of my age. And to be on these same platforms and share the level of knowledge and wisdom that comes from them. But just to see my name on a website, and it's like, so-and-so has been doing this for 35 years. And it's like, Vanessa has been doing this for 8, and we're all together. That for me, nothing's ever going to top that for me. And I don't like to measure my success in accolades. Right now, I've shifted. At first it was like, I want to see how many of these I can get. But now I've shifted to like the people around me. Like, I'm working with people that can go get these designations, these industry designations, and apply for these accolades because they are so very worthy of them. And I want to build up the people around me. But then in counterpart to that, I'm measuring my success right now on the happiness of my babies. Because to be honest, I've had a lot of chips on my shoulder and I have faced a lot of adversity. There's been a lot of questions about how I got where I got and the amount of time that I've got, rather than me having been celebrated for my successes and what I can bring back to someone else. And that's been a topic of conversation, and sometimes it's hard not to take that personal, because I promise I did not skip a beat, and all the work ethic and all the hard work, the same amount has been put in. I've just taken advantage and I've capitalized on my opportunities. But at the end of the day, when I come home and my son knows we're going to basketball practice, or my daughter knows we're going to gymnastics, and mom made it on time and we're not going to be late. And, we might grab fast food on the way home because timing is short and we've got to work it out. But I truly do measure my success right now on the happiness of my children. This industry has just afforded me so much support and love, and has put me in a financial state to have bought my first home and to make sure that my children have whatever it is that they need without having to ask for it or question it. Like, they live a very comfortable life. And to be quite honest, I said it the other day, like, multifamily truly changed my life and gave me some alignment with, questioning what my purpose was. Like, I'm on the straight and narrow. Like, this is exactly where I need to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on all that. And I'm glad that you're to a place where success is like centered around your kids being happy, and that you're in a place where you can provide that level of stability for them.
For sure. I mean, in all transparency, I wasn't in the beginning. I think for anyone watching this who knew 21-year-old Vanessa, like,
you were 21. So
I know, but it was like, she was real questionable. She was, I don't even know that we should bring her up. She was really questionable. But I think for me to be able to go back and look at some of those things and be like, this is where you're at. Like I said, these are things I used to honestly dream about, and not knowing if I was ever going to get there. And then having my son, and then 16 months later having my daughter, I was like, oh, we're really not getting there. But I think, what switched for me, I was put in a position with an employer where, it was very much like, you need to decide now. Like, is this what you want to do? Or do you just need to like, let this go? Like I said, I was younger, and I probably didn't take my job as serious as I do now. In my head at that time, it was just like, okay, well, I have 2 kids. Like, I don't have a choice and I have to work. But I think something somewhere, and honestly, I can probably recall the moment to a T. So it was a recognition program, and I wanted to do it. And I was just like, I'm just going to throw my name out there. The worst that can happen is I don't get it. And it's okay. And so I did it, and I had to go to my supervisor at the time and ask for a letter of recommendation. And he just looked me up and down, and he was just like, he was like, you're not going to get that. And I was like, all I need you to do is write the letter. Like, that's your only job in this. So just write the letter, whether you believe what's in the letter or not. I just need you to put it in the letter. Speak facts if you have to. You don't even have to say I'm great. Just give me some statistics from my job, and like, we'll be good. Yeah. And I remember getting that email that I had been awarded the recognition, and literally I was shocked. Like, one of 30 people in the world, and whoever read my application and read my story and saw the work that I put in, and it was being recognized. And so I think from that point forward, having someone tell me no was the best thing that has ever happened to me. Just having someone make me feel like I could do better, or there was more of me to give. There was more that could be pulled out of me. I was like, okay, let's tap into that. I want to see what that is. I'm sure for, my company and my team, they would love to see what that is. And like, let's see what happens from this. And that was just such a pivotal moment for me to really change my mindset and just kind of wipe the slate clean from what I thought that multifamily would be for me. And to really dedicate myself to something so amazing that a lot of people just don't know about, in terms of like the level of work and dedication and commitment that we have to make this industry as smooth and streamlined and successful as possible.
Yeah, and it's great because you have a passion for making it better, and both for people and probably operationally, which is also important. But I think what also people need to understand is, again, you didn't go to college, but you took advantage of all the different credentials, and you've taken classes, you've learned as much as you could, you've volunteered with NAA, you've had an opportunity to speak at Apartmentalize. Like, how many people have done that? Not very many. But you had to put yourself in a position to be able to do that. And it's not like that just happens. You have to actually try to do that. So you definitely have taken opportunities. And I'm just going to keep piling on right now. So you also were the 20 in their 20s for, was that for Kansas City, or was
that's for NAA as well?
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, those, I mean, I don't have that. So
it's a lot. It's a lot.
You're a boss. You're a boss. And boss in a good sense. Like, we want to recapture boss, because there can be negative connotation to being a boss. And you're not boss in the negative sense. You're in the positive sense of, you've got it on lockdown. You're doing awesome. And I just want to applaud you and all you've done.
Thank you so much. It's been a long road. And it's so funny. Like, I was reading one of the comments, and Tina Peterson, like, very short, funny story. I was working at a site when I was young. She like said, I remember 21-year-old Vanessa. I was working at a site when I was younger, and new management came in. Yeah, new management came in. And, that day, the team that was there, it was just young Vanessa. And I still wanted to have fun. And at that point in time, it was literally just a job for me. And so Tina's company actually chose not to retain any of the staff. And I didn't love it. I was like, well, what did I do wrong? And like, so then hearing about it from another peer in our industry as to like what actually went wrong. And it was the simple fact that we weren't behaving correctly. We weren't being professional. We weren't taking our job seriously. So like, why would a company want to retain you when that's what you're doing? And, spotlight's on you at this point to retain your job and move over to that company. So I think Tina remembers that. But fast forward, I work for Tina at Lincoln Property Company now.
Nice.
Tina was my first regional at Lincoln. I now have a new regional. But it's super funny and crazy how things come full circle, and she's gotten to experience both sides. So,
which is awesome, because she's seen you succeed and like come out of your youngness, your young 21-year-old self, right? So yeah,
it's been a crazy ride, but I'm thrilled to be where I'm at. I choose to wake up each day, no matter what's happening, and approach it with a level of gratitude. I may not be able to do it immediately, first thing that morning, but I really do try. And I actually got the word gratitude tattooed on my hand, so that I can just, I've got this reminder now, like, nothing is ever truly going to be perfect. And honestly, you as an individual decide what perfection means, and to what level that goes. So You know, as long as I'm happy and my energy is full and peace is like a thing for me now, like I value my peace and my energy so much. And I can radiate that onto my children. And as long as they feel the same, like nothing's ever that bad. Everything gets better. Everything gets so much better with time and a little bit of hard work and just a positive mindset overall.
Yeah, for sure. Besides of what we've already spoke about, you did want to kind of, I guess, set the stage as how you set or created a seat at the table.
Yes.
I mean, we've talked on a few things, but maybe there's something else you want to add that kind of speaks to that.
Listen, no tables ever designed with your seat pulled out. It's just not. It's just the way of life. And you honestly have to be ready and willing to do the work and put the time in and, you know, provide a level of work ethic that you may not have seen from yourself, but you've got to find it and you've got to tap into that. But you know, more so than that, like truly lean on the people around you. Like I said, I have some fantastic mentors in this industry that have not necessarily handed me an opportunity, but they see things that I may not be able to. They see everything from me. Like, but honestly, the biggest thing is potential. Because when you're doubting yourself, you've got other people still rooting for you to keep pushing and keep grinding it out. And that was extremely important to me. But when opportunities present themselves, please take them. Whether that is from an education standpoint, whether that is for a promotion, like, you know, don't be scared to make a change. And I think people, you know, they look at change and it's very scary. It can be extremely scary. But the thing is if you don't tap into that, you're going to become stagnant. If we do things the way that we've always done them, the only thing that we have coming to us is the same thing that's already here. Right. And so I just really challenge people to think outside the box and like tap into a level of yourself that you have yet to experience, because you'd be surprised what you can do and what opportunities you afford yourself if you literally create your seat. Put yourself in those spaces. Allow people to tell you no to see how you respond and what that ignites in you going forward.
Yeah, totally. And when it comes to like somebody saying, hey, do you want to be on a show, be live on the internet, and you've never done it before, say yes to it, right?
You have to say yes.
Yeah. Got to put yourself out there.
You have to put yourself out there, and you don't know what you don't know. And honestly, for me, there could be like 2 people watching this, there could be 100 people watching this, but as long as one person, you know, now knows a little bit of my story that maybe they were scared to come and ask me about, maybe they resonated with, like, as long as at least one person is taking something from this. If Evan asks you to be on Boss Talks, you have to go be on Boss Talks.
That's right. It's mandatory.
It's mandatory. It's required.
And if I didn't ask you, I'm a nice enough guy. Come ask me. I'll entertain it. I probably won't say no.
We all have a story to tell. And, you know, my pathway is very unconventional. It's very untraditional from the pathway that has been set typically by probably NAA and local affiliates. But I firmly believe that my path is my own. That creates who I am, and who I am creates what I'm able to bring to the table. It should be different for everyone. Because if we all share the same life experience and the same cultural background and all of these things, like, you've really got nothing. You've got a group of people that are all like-minded, and you're coming out with the same exact results every single time. So perspective is huge. And being able to, kind of like you said, take from so many people's thoughts and pull it together to formulate new thoughts and new ideas and just a new way of doing things. It's so important to make sure we're working through those changes and being agile and just being able to adapt.
Yeah, because it can be hard and scary to be inclusive, embrace diversity, and all these things because it's uncomfortable. It's outside of what you know. And so when it comes to other people with different culture, different skin color, all the things, people get really uncomfortable because they don't understand it. And so they rather just be surrounded by people that are just like them because that's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
100%.
Isn't that, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's easier.
Right. But easy doesn't get you far. Easy
Right.
doesn't get you far.
Right.
Just like
Well,
you mentioned earlier,
yeah.
like someone who consistently has things handed to them, they don't feel a need to, tap into another degree, like that overdrive level of like, let's go get this done. Like, let's push ourselves to the absolute limit that we have. It's not necessary for them to do so. And it's just, don't take the easy route. Tina actually calls me Queen of the Hard Route.
Okay.
And that's the route that I prefer to take, because that's what's going to afford me continued education. That's what's going to give me new knowledge, new wisdom, new ideas. And as long as I'm able to, communicate those to the people around me and hopefully like get their brains churning and into new thoughts and ideas, like that's where we start to make magic.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to pull up a few people because you're getting some kudos, and so let's just let you have your moment. Do you know Brian?
I know Brian. Yes.
Okay.
Brian and I work together. I can return that compliment right back. Brian is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
And then also Mackenzie. Is this another person you know? Or
yes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. You guys are making my heart so full. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. These people are great.
Yeah, and it's good to have good people around you cheering you on, being an encourager too. And the biggest thing is you're probably already doing it, but what is also going to happen is you're going to keep getting older. I know it happens. But you'll get to an age and you're going to be the person mentoring and shedding, giving encouragement and helping those that are new to the industry, don't have education. And you can actually say to them, you can do this. You have a story to tell. So
absolutely. And I hope that I'm doing that now. Like it's never too early to start that. And like I said, it starts from the top down. Companies have their core values, but I think us as individuals should also have our own set of core values of things that are important to us. And just like the way that we choose to navigate as human beings, isn't that core values of our own? And so, outside of being an employee at a company, like I truly want to live a life where I'm a human being. And, I'm bringing my own set of core values to work every single day. And one of those is gratitude. And most recently, it has been empowerment. That was my focal word for 2022. And, these last couple of weeks, I've kicked that into overdrive and truly showcased what that means to me. But also I hope that I'm bringing that to the table every single day for the people around me, my team, my family, my support system, this industry overall. Like I currently at the forefront of what's important to me is to make sure that the people around me, don't have to work as hard as I had to work. Like I want to, create a path that gets just a little bit easier for the next person to come through. So that by the time my children are ready to be powerhouses in this industry, that hopefully they've got a really nice lighted path coming their way.
But not too easy, because you appreciate where you've gotten because of a little bit of the struggle, right?
Absolutely.
I think sometimes when it's easy, like I said before, like you take it for granted, and it becomes kind of like, oh yeah, just do this job,
the norm,
get a paycheck, and you don't really have an appreciation for. Now, there's certain things that we shouldn't have to deal with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
some of the things I've named earlier, like my children they get the best qualities of me. My son is he's very much my introvert baby until he's comfortable. And so he definitely has taken from me in terms of having that perfect balance of extrovert and introvert. But I'm I am raising, for lack of a better terms, I'm raising a Black man in today's society. And my daughter, on the other hand, I'm not worried about her, but I'm also worried about how strong-willed she is and how much feistiness that she has. So I'm raising a very strong Black woman in today's society, which comes with misconceptions of its own. And it's a balance. It's a balance. And, where I don't want their pathway to be easy in terms of the work ethic that they put forth, I do want their pathways to be easier in terms of the stigmas that comes with who they are. And that's extremely important to me, to be able to have, a voice for underrepresented groups overall, and have the representation. This can be done, being exactly who you are with no modifications to that whatsoever.
Right. Yep. Indeed. I think it's so true. And I think it's going to be awesome one day when you're whatever position you end up in, you'll be a great example to someone else that this can be done. I am represented at a higher level, and I see myself in that position. So you'll be there, and
we'll be there. Look, it's coming. It's going to come before I even get there. We have some amazing leaders within NAA right now, and I feel like it'll absolutely happen before I get there. And these individuals, like I said, they've been amazing mentors to me, and it's incredible to see them light the path for me so that I can go and light the path for someone else. And I think really that's what everything is about, is just to make sure that you can turn around and bring the next person up. And then before you know it, you don't have to turn around anymore because you've catapulted everyone forward. And, they're on the straight and narrow to continue what we've all started.
Yeah, it's a good word. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for all that you've shared with us today. And for all those that jumped on and supported her, we thank you also. We aren't quite done yet, though. I have a few questions that I just like to ask. They're fun. Don't worry. Nothing serious. So the company I work for, I'm the director of marketing for, Community Boss. And I personally have a passion for building community. That's part of why I do Boss Talks. I want to create community in this industry, virtually in this regard. And so I like to ask, how is it that you like to create community, whether it's professionally or personally?
I create community, I think both ways, just by getting to know people. It's important to me that in spaces where I have the opportunity to do so, I'm approaching people who probably wouldn't come and approach me. And I say that to say this, you don't know what you don't know. And having an opportunity, because I do have an extrovert personality when I need to, having an opportunity to approach someone and just getting to know them in the truest version of themselves, so that, people are a benefit to your life. Being able to leverage who someone is from a very genuine standpoint is so important. So I build community just by making sure that I know the people around me and they're given an opportunity to express who they are without any reservations.
It's good. Yeah. And I especially like the fact that you said that you approach people that maybe wouldn't come to you. Seeing them, maybe they're quiet, whatever it is, not very outgoing. I tend to do that too. I feel like they're the people that kind of are overlooked because they're quiet, right? And so, yeah, that's great.
It all goes back to who are we missing? Who are we missing? Yeah. And I do it with my residents too. I'm on a new site where I'm learning my residents all over again, and you can't come into this clubhouse until I talk to you. I need to know who you are, because I care. I care to know your dog's name and your granddaughter's name and all the things. So let's get to know each other.
Yeah, that's good. It's good quality to have. All right, next question. If kind of in the same line of building community, if you were to have somebody over for dinner, what would you make them for dinner?
It depends on who they are. do we need greasy food because we've had too much wine, or like do we?
It's whatever you want.
need
It's whatever
communal
you
food.
love. You love,
Okay.
and it builds. It's an opportunity to build relationship with somebody and maybe
Okay.
let loose because you've had some wine.
I'm a steak person, so
Okay.
I'll never say no to a really nicely cooked steak and a glass of wine. I think for sides, we're doing some type of like, let's do like roasted garlic potatoes, and let's do mac and cheese.
All right.
We're putting it all together.
I'm here for it. I'm gonna feel terrible after eating all that, but I will eat it.
Probably
Yes.
so. But there's a gym in my garage. Like if you're feeling inclined to burn the calories
there's
before you
not going to be
consume.
any working out after eating steak and macaroni, and no, not going to happen. Oh man. Yeah, no, that sounds delicious. And then finally, I am from Seattle, and so I always like to ask, what is your favorite coffee drink?
Oh, I'm probably facing a very unpopular opinion here when I say that I don't love coffee.
All right, you're not, because so far I think that's the majority.
I don't like, there are certain things. So like if I go to Starbucks, it's a mood thing, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a mood thing. I've got to be just really like, I really need some caffeine today, and this better hit me hard. So I'm probably doing iced coffee. I'm doing a honey almond milk flat white, which is actually pretty good. But like I said, it's based on my mood. But if I'm going to Starbucks and I'm not drinking coffee, I'm probably the most basic person you'll ever meet. I'm doing a pink drink.
Pink drink.
A pink drink. Oh,
What's that?
I cannot wait to enlighten you.
I don't know this one.
Okay, it's pink, obviously.
Sure.
It's an iced drink. It's one of their tea refreshers, and it's mixed with coconut milk, and then it has strawberries in it as well.
All right, I like the refreshers.
Tea,
so
like
is it called the pink drink? If I say that,
if you say it, you don't have to say anything else. And I think that's my favorite part, is like I get so much anxiety. Like, can I get 2 pumps of this and like 19 squirts of this? Yeah. Like, I don't want to have to do any of that.
I think that's why when I go to Starbucks, I don't say anything. It's either going to be cold brew or something basic. But I'm pretty low key when it comes to coffee. I drink black coffee, but I like good black coffee.
There you go. That's how my mom is. My mom drinks straight black coffee, and I'm always growing up, I was just like you have to put some sugar and some dairy in that. But like, to each their own,
Yeah. I will say good coffee is good. You just have to get the right stuff. Yeah.
Listen, you don't have to sell me on it. I believe you, because I'm never going to try it.
Yeah. She's like, I ain't going there. So it's fine. No, that's funny. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you to those that participated, who commented, who gave her kudos. We really appreciate it as well. As I've kind of stated already, if you want to be on Boss Talks, reach out to me. Jump out of your comfort zone. Take a risk. It's not a risk, though. You're going to do great. Everybody that's done it has loved it and had fun doing it. So be like Vanessa. Jump out of your comfort zone, create that seat at the table, let people know who you are and why you're awesome and why you're a boss. So again, thank you, Vanessa, for being with me today. And till next week, Wednesday, it's been Boss Talks. I'll see you then.